Hi, welcome back. We're now on the calculator paper for the summer 2023. These videos I've cut up into about every 2 questions just to make them a little bit shorter, just to make it a little bit easier for the people that need it. And they're quite hefty. There's a lot of questions. They aren't the nicest of questions, but I'm sure you'll find it easy enough as you're going through. Bit of advice when you're going through these, same thing as pause the video, have a go at it yourself if you like, or just listen along. And I'm just going to go through each question, but I'll leave like a second or two so you can pause it in between if you need to. You will need a calculator if you're doing this yourself, these questions. I do recommend, I don't know if it's going to show, but this calculator, if you can, there you go. It's kind of showing, kind of not. It's like it knows it's not human. But if you can't get those calculators because you can't get them in shops anymore, there is another make, which I'll put a link below, of a useful calculator that has the similar buttons, which should help if you are someone who likes that vibe and wants one similar to the ones that are mainly in schools. Okay, so let's go. First question, we've got a conversion graph. So conversion graphs are used to convert something into something else, and we usually use it for like measurements and such. So we in the UK use Celsius, in America they use Fahrenheit. So this is just a simple graph converting Celsius degrees to Fahrenheit degrees. Basically, that's all this is. So it says, circle the correct answer to complete the following statement. 15 degrees in Fahrenheit is, now see there's a C there, that means that we're looking at the Celsius, so 15 degrees Celsius is the same in Fahrenheit as, and then we need to look basically. So we go across our graph, notice between 10 and 15, you want to go right in the middle, and you're looking at this point by here. Draw your line up and across, and we want to find out what this is. So it's halfway between 50 and 68. Quick bit of maths, you've got a calculator, so do 68 plus 50, divide that by 2, and put it all in one go, but you will get the answer 59. So that's that first one, and it's only worth 1 mark. It's a multiple choice. Worst case scenario, if you are in your exam, just circle something. Obviously, try and eliminate ones that you know it's not going to be. Second question says 40 degrees in Fahrenheit is 136 degrees Fahrenheit. 40 degrees Celsius is 136 Fahrenheit, as it's twice what it is at 20 degrees Celsius. Wow, I don't know what happened there, but we'll carry on. So for this question, a few things. It doesn't start at 0. So whenever a conversion graph doesn't start at 0, we can't just double our answer and use our answer that way. If it does start at 0, 0, then that's fine. You're okay to do that. But in this case, it starts at 32. So at 0 degrees Celsius, we know it's 32 degrees Fahrenheit. There you go. We know at 20, because that's what the 20 degrees, we've got the fact that it's 68. So we need to work out what is the difference, what happened from here to here. And essentially we're then going to add that difference on again. So easily you've got a calculator. So 68 take away 32 gives you 36 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we're going to add that on again. So 68 plus 36. And that will give you your 104. And there we go. That's that question. Done. Didn't really need a calculator there, but if you wanted to, you could use it. Next question. In 2018, the cost for making phone calls from the UK to some overseas countries was shown below. So you've got a table and there's landlines and mobiles. Just so people are aware, just in case you're not quite sure what a landline is, because I know a lot of homes don't have them. That is like literally your house phone, so that you have in your house that's attached to your actual house. It's a bit different, whereas mobiles, obviously you can walk around, you can go wherever with them. You can't really take your landline with you. So the first thing is that there's different bands. That just means that these countries are connected to that band. That's all that means on this table. And it's rate per minute. That's another important thing there, that we're working in minutes, not in hours. It says calculate the cost of making a 2.25 hour phone call from the mobile from China. Give your answer in pounds. So China first, let's look at it. It's in band B. Okay, so China, band B, so band B, and we're looking at a mobile. There we go. So we know it's going to be 90. So it's 90 pence per minute. We've currently got it in hours. So the first thing I want you to do, you've got two options. You can either use your fraction button, and now I recommend if you use your fraction button in your exam, you want this one for that. Oh, that was a really bad time sign. No. There we go. Let me just rewrite that. That looked awful. So we're doing 2.25 times how many minutes are in an hour? Well, we know there's 60, so we times it by 60. And this is just going to tell us how many minutes we're actually using. So if we did that 2.25 times 60, you're going to get the answer 135. And then the next part, sorry, I'm just doing it in my calculator earlier. When we got 135, we're then going to be timesing that by the 90. And this is going to give you 12150. Now that's no good to us. My writing is awful. There we go. Because that's currently in pence. It needs it in pounds. So just remembering to divide by 100. There we go. If you don't do this fraction button and you're not quite sure, so it's shift and then press that fraction button. If you don't know how to do that or you're not confident with the calculator, remember 1 hour is 60, another hour is 60, and then the last hour would be a quarter of that. So you know when you have a clock, a quarter is 15 minutes. So that is the other way, and you can just type that into your calculator. So there's two different methods there of how to get that first bit of how many minutes it is. And that's how much pence it would be. So that's that one done. It was a nice enough question, but there was a little bit of challenge for people who are just on their main scraping that E grade. That is quite a tough one for an E grade style question. Next one. 1 hour phone calls cost £72. Was this call made to a landline or a mobile? Was this call made to a country in band A, B, or C? You must show you the following workings. Okay. So the interesting fact here is we got 72. That's in pounds. I know we're working in pence. So the first thing I'm going to do is put it into pence. Okay, so that's the first step. I've just put what I earn in pounds into pence. That's it. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by 60. You might ask why I'm dividing by 60, but I know it's minutes, and at the moment it's 1 hour, and I want to kind of get that into minutes and how much it's going to cost, because at the moment with an hour we can't do anything with it. So I'm going to divide them up. 720 divided by 60, and that gives us 120. Perfect. Now we got 120, so that bit's done. That is how many, that's the cost. So 120 pence. Where can we see 120 pence? C. And that line. That was actually a lot nicer than I thought it was going to be. That is it. So the main factor here is actually just converting. So that was 72 is, I don't want that. So I'm a little bit rusty, if you haven't noticed. Doodaloo is 72. And then £72 is 7,200 pence. So that's where that comes from. And the 60 came from 1 hour. Well, I hope that helps. I think we got one last bit on this. Yeah, we do. Right, so last part of this, and then we're all done. So the table gives an exchange rate of exchange rates in September 2018. £1 exchange rate, so that means every pound is worth the amount that is showing on the screen. So a phone call to Argentina costs £6. How much does it cost in pesos? So really nice and easy. £1 cost 47.85. £6, well, that's going to be 47.85 6 times. And then just chuck it in your calculator and you are done. Told you, nice, easy 2 marks. 287.1. Done. Next one, a phone call to a landline. Okay, so I think we're going to need the table back from the other page, but that's fine. In Japan, costs 2,151 £30 yen. Calculate the cost of the phone call in pounds and how long the phone call lasted in minutes. Lovely. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is write 21.30, and I'm going to convert that back into pounds because it's not going to be good to me in yen. So when you're working backwards, you actually just divide it by the yen that is on the exchange rate. So this exchange rate right here, we're going to be dividing by 143.42. I don't feel like this is going to give us a nice number at all. So we're going to have to round up. Oh no. I stand forgiven. It literally comes to 15. That could not be so much easier. Just double checking. I did write all those down right. Yeah, it's just a really nice number. So it costs £15. There we go. I've answered part of it. So it was £15. And how long did the phone call? So we know it's Japan landline. Let's find out how much Japan landline is. So Japan is here, and that's band A, and landline. So 30. So Japan landline is 30p per minute. Well, let's get this into pence then. So 500 divided by 30. Ooh, how much do you reckon? I don't think I need to do this on my 50. Done. That is the first 2 questions all finished. Okay, so I've gone through them in quite like slow speed, the speed that you should probably be doing your exam in, taking it, well, maybe a little bit faster. But I'm just trying to explain everything and go through those key points and make sure that you're actually taking involved, like what is happening. It's not just that you're learning the question, you're learning the method alongside it. And there we go, all done. Stay tuned for more.